What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. We're going to do a stimulus check update today, and we're going to talk about a few different things. So I have my list here of 5 different things to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about is the House. So they approved a bill. We're going to look at that bill, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the skinny bill. So the GOP senators, they've created a skinny bill, so we'll look into that. We're also going to talk about the stimulus check debate. So the timeline, and we're talking about a timeline of a few different things. So the stimulus check debate, when is that going to pick back up? We'll also talk about the payroll tax deferral and the timeline for that, as well as the enhanced unemployment, the timeline for that, who's applied, who hasn't applied, who declined. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first off, if you guys can hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're new here or if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now. We do daily videos as well as live streams on the weekends. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first story we want to talk about is HR 8015. Now, this is a bill that was approved by the House on Saturday, and this is Delivering for America Act. It would prohibit the Postal Service from implementing or approving any changes to the operations or service levels in effect on January 1st, 2020, that would impede prompt, reliable, and efficient service. Basically, what this means is they want the levels to go back to January 1st, 2020. So their normal operations on January 1st, 2020, that's where they want to get back to. There have been reductions and stuff like that in the last few months, and so they want to get them back up to speed, mainly for the election. They want to make sure that we have a smooth election. We're looking at a time right now in a pandemic where you have people that are probably considering voting by mail or doing absentee ballot. I get an absentee ballot every year, but I always go in and vote. I just like the whole process. This year, I might not do it just because of the pandemic. And so other people might be thinking the same thing. And that's the main reason why they want to make sure that the post office is able to take in all these ballots and not have any issues or anything like that. So that's the main reason for this bill. Also, they'll be getting $25 billion. Now, this needs to be approved by the Senate. So it needs to be approved by the Senate and signed off by the president in order for it to become a bill. But the first step has started with the House, with the approval by the House. So we'll have to follow and see where it goes. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is the skinny bill. So the skinny bill, we're looking at $10 billion for the Postal Service. So they'll be funding the Postal Service as well. Now, this $10 billion will be held. So basically the Postal Service has some money now. If they need to dip into this $10 billion, it's there, it's available for them. And so that's how the skinny bill is going to work when it comes to that. Liability protections will also be in the skinny bill. PPP funding will be in the skinny bill. $300 per week enhanced unemployment, and that will end at the end of December. $105 billion for schools, and that's only if schools reopen. So that's how they're working that. $16 billion for testing, and then $29 billion for vaccines and therapeutics. So that's pretty much what we're looking at when it comes to the skinny bill. Now, this is a scaled down version of the HEALS Act. So this is about a $500 billion bill, whereas the HEALS Act was $1 trillion, and then the HEROES Act before that was about $3.4 trillion. So that's what we're looking at. The Republicans in the Senate wanted to create something that was a little more scaled down in the hopes that they can bring on some more of the GOP senators that are really not interested in having another stimulus package or another stimulus bill. And so this is what they created. Okay, so now let's talk about timeline. So the Senate will come back on September 8th. So it looks like we can pick up negotiations at that point. Let's hope that they pick up negotiations at that point for the next stimulus package. Now, we can't promise anything right now. They're stalled, but they might only be stalled just because they're on recess and they don't really have a need to come back or feel the need to come back. They have a need, but they don't feel the need at this point to come back. So maybe September 8th, it will spark a fire under them and they'll say, okay, yeah, let's pick up the debate. Let's continue and see if we can do something for the American people. Another timeline here, enhanced unemployment. Now, the enhanced unemployment, you have people who have applied for it. So you have states that have applied. And here's a chart here. So first off, you see, and this is Yahoo Finance that has this nice little chart. You see the states who declined. South Dakota is the only state that's declined. And then we have in blue, they haven't applied. The lighter blue is they're applying. And then that fluorescent green color, they've all been approved. So that's where we are right now when it comes down to it. So you can check the chart here and see where your state comes up. And as of right now, Arizona is the only state that started to pay out. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the next story here, the payroll tax deferral. Now, this is really important because it's going to start next week. And it's going to be interesting to see what businesses do, because some businesses might continue to withhold the payroll tax because they might be in fear that this won't get forgiven. Right now, it's just a loan. So if people are taking this money, let's say where you work, they're allowing you to get this extra payroll tax. So if you're getting this 6.2% extra, just understand this is still a loan. It has not been forgiven at this point. So you could be in a situation where you might have to pay that back starting next year. So some businesses might look at this and say, it's not worth it to do it this way. We're going to continue withholding. And then if it does get forgiven in the future, then maybe we'll do something there. Maybe we'll have a bonus that we can give our employees at that point. But right now, they're not, a lot of businesses don't want to really touch this because there's no guarantee that this money will be forgiven. And so that's where we are when it comes down to it. The president says, yes, it'll be forgiven. And after the election, then I'll push for it. That's what he's saying. However, right now, it's just a loan. So be aware of that. It's just a loan. So next week, if you start getting a little extra in your paycheck, you might want to hold on to that money and not just spend it, because if you do, there could be a situation in the future they might be taking out more in your check and you might really be struggling at that point. So just something to think about. So that's all I have for you guys today. The question today is, will you be voting in November? Let me know, will you be voting in November? Also, if you guys have any questions about any of the stuff that we talked about, please post it down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.